What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm Paul. And I'm Morgan. Morgan is upstairs tending to baby Luca from his, he just decided to start crying pretty heavily. Hopefully she'll be down in just a moment. But I can go ahead and get started. Today's topic is quite the interesting one. Yes, we are revisiting love and dating, physical boundaries. So, yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to discuss this. We're talking about purity culture. We're about to get to that from a tweet that someone made recently. But before we do, guys, welcome. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. We make videos on culture, social issues, and faith to help you be in the world and of the word. And we've been making more relationship videos as well. All right. So I was on Twitter. Shout out to Twitter, especially after Elon's takeover. It has been quite the exciting place. Seriously. I'm on Twitter, and I see someone that I follow, that I really appreciate. She commented on this tweet. Actually, surprisingly, okay, I don't want to say surprisingly, but I was kind of surprised to see what she commented on the tweet, and I will read that to you guys in a little bit. But the tweet in question, the tweet that is the subject of today's video is this. It is by someone named Emily. She said, "Remember in high school when they told us that if we kissed the person we were dating, we were kissing someone else's spouse and we were pre-cheating on our future spouse." I'm going to leave that up here. I'm just going to shrink it a little bit. I know some of you guys in the pre-live chat were like, from the way that we chose to title it, kissing someone else's spouse. Like, you guys, I think, thought we were coming at it from kind of one angle. Here's the tweet, and I find this very interesting. I just heard a bump upstairs. This particular girl, I'm going to be reading some responses that were made, but she is hitting on the idea of really fear-based toxic purity culture that many of us can relate to. I know that I can relate to a lot of the stuff that I think that the angles that she's coming from. And I want to open this up and say, what is she getting at here? And is she onto something? Is she calling out toxic purity culture? Should this particular theme within toxic purity culture be called out? She says, they told us, when she says they, remember in high school when they told us, I think she's referring to, the advocates of purity culture back in the maybe early 2000s when it was like really big. 2000, I guess I was in high school, 2005, 6, 7. And it was big. She says they, the advocates of purity culture, maybe the people within the church, maybe her parents or the people within her youth group, they told us if we kissed the person we were dating, we were kissing someone else's spouse and we were pre-cheating on our future spouse. We get the gist of what she's saying, and I'll actually read to you guys so you can get a little idea. Well, in the comment section, just based off of that tweet alone, what are your thoughts? Are you kind of like, she's right to call this out? Why would they use these fear tactics? Okay, kissing someone that you're dating, who cares? Like, what side are you fall on? What side do you fall on? Yeah, it's just kissing someone you're dating, and then you're going to move on maybe and date someone else. Yeah, you kissed them, big whoop. Are you more on that side? Or are you on the side of like, no, like they have a point. The people, the purity culture advocates, they had a point that when you were getting all kissy-kissy with someone you were dating, you were kissing someone else's future spouse. This particular person, Emily, I didn't feel like I needed to get on her Twitter. This is the tweet that is in discussion here, but I was like, let me just kind of see what does her Twitter look like. And funny enough, I feel like before I give too much of like my strong opinion on this tweet, I've kind of come to know what to expect when I read a tweet like this. What I feel like I can expect is I'm going to go to her page, I'm going to go to this person's page and see a good amount of tweets of calling out toxic church culture, calling out, here's the way I grew up, and here's all the harm that it caused. Calling out all the harm within the church, within purity culture, within the modesty stuff, within the, you guys get what I'm saying. And so kind of funny enough, her page, her bio on Twitter says, doubt-filled believer, fighting for a more inclusive world, can't seem to quit Jesus, in all things charity, she, her, ADHD since 2003. So the top comment was, again, from a person that I'm actually friends with on Twitter, really like her stuff, but she responded to this and said, "You must have gone to a very weird church growing up, LOL. Every time you tweet stuff like this, it's shocking to me." And then, well, first off, I just want to say, like, I think this tweet and tweets like this, like, again, I was pretty, these were my circles, like literally, whether it was like leaders in our church, leaders at our Christian school, homeschool co-op type school, my mom, like this was the stuff I was being spoon-fed, if you will. Hey, Paul, like, as you're getting into the upper high school grades, just know if you are kissing someone and then they don't end up being your wife, you're kissing someone else's spouse. And that's a big deal. You know, it's not just something to shrug off. This person, Emily, it sounds like is saying, no, it's something to relax and kind of shrug off. And these people that are fear-mongering, toxic purity culture, it's not good. Anyway, yeah, this girl that I follow said, you must have gone to a very weird church. I don't think it sounds that weird. Emily responded and said, "Phew, girl, I lived and breathed church and Bible studies and Christian ministries. There was barely a night of the week that I wasn't somewhere trying to learn more about Jesus." Someone responded, I'm going to go ahead and exit this for now. Someone responded, kind of pushing back on her, and said, "Well, it's kind of true. I wouldn't say cheating, but one will compare your spouse's kissing to all the others you kissed before you met your spouse. Best to not kiss casually." And I'm thinking about that, and I'll be honest, I went and liked that guy's response. Best to not kiss casually. I think that he said that really well. So you guys are getting the feeling of where I'm coming from. And Emily responded and said, "LOL, I don't find this true at all. I never think about other people I kissed." You guys are kind of seeing the divide, if you will, here. Can we just pull back real quick before let me go ahead and read the next tweet. Someone responded and said, "Yeah, I can never forget that part of I Kiss Dating Goodbye, where he's like, imagine everyone you ever dated lined up on the altar on your wedding day. Whatever you gave them are pieces of you you'll never get back and can never give your spouse," or something like that. And then someone said, this is the last one, someone responded, "1, Jesus never promises us a spouse as part of his plan of salvation." Agreed. 2, I liked kissing my past boyfriends. She liked kissing her past boyfriends, okay. 3, a life of chastity should not be fueled by your future spouse is out there somewhere. And 4, pre-cheating is not a thing. And then our girl Emily did like a little meme that said, "Yes." All right. Whew. Fascinating conversation. Fascinating. All right, here's my thoughts. You guys are absolutely welcome to think what you will, but I just want to say, going back to her initial tweet, she's kind of calling out the fear mongers, if you will. Is it not true, though, if you're in high school dating somebody, you're kissing them, kissing, and then you guys break up, have you not been kissing someone else's spouse? Why? I'm trying to see both sides here. I am, and I do see both sides to an extent. But why is that like Why do you feel like you need to tweet and push back on that, on people that would say, hey, Paul, hey, 15-year-old Paul, you go around kissing girls, you're kissing someone else's future spouse. Like, that's true. What am I missing here? That's true. If you're going around making out with your girlfriend, you guys break up a month later, you have been intimately, I'm not saying you're having sex, I'm not saying you've had sex, even though oftentimes the steamy makeout sessions lead to further stuff. Let's be real, they do. Let's be real, the majority of Christian dating couples, I'm not even trying to be like fake Christians, Christian dating couples, well-meaning Christian couples end up slipping up and compromising their purity on some level. Oftentimes, I would even say the majority end up having sex before marriage. These are Christian couples that are dating. Why is that so many end up having premarital sex when they set out with good intentions? Why is that? Could it be because they're not putting strict boundaries in place? Could it be because they're making fun of this toxic purity culture? They're making fun of people that suggested that if you're going around kissing the people that you're casually dating or that you're dating, you're going around kissing them, making out with them, and perhaps you shouldn't be because you actually are kissing someone else's future spouse. Oh, we're going to make fun of them. You guys are so toxic. And then we're over here and we're end up having sex before marriage. How about we have a little bit of a pullback and a little bit of a reverency and of like, there may have actually been some wisdom there. There may be wisdom in putting a little fear into us. Is fear always a bad thing? Hey, Paul, 16-year-old Paul, I would discourage you from making out with your girlfriend because if you guys break up, you've been making out with someone else's spouse. Paul, I would discourage you, 16-year-old Paul, from making out with your girlfriend because it oftentimes leads to further stuff. There's a little bit of fear there. Is that a bad thing? It's like we're all get up in arms. Fear! You are fear-based tactics. Okay, I'm sure it can be taken too far. I know that there is elements of purity culture that have been taken too far, that have become extra biblical, and we got to be careful with that. And I saw someone in the comments say, yeah, I'm not whatever. This is extra biblical Christian dating boundaries. It's extra biblical. Is there wisdom there? The Apostle Paul talks over and over and over again about maintaining your sexual purity, about maintaining just purity, keeping the marriage bed holy, fleeing sexual immorality, and yet we're so quick to demonize all of purity culture. That's what kind of just frustrates me. Are there bad things with purity culture? Sure, there are things that they took too far. Should purity culture as a whole be demonized? What is purity culture? I'm not so sure about that. And then, the comment that I read, someone responding to Emily and said, there's no such thing as pre-cheating. We were kissing someone else's spouse. We were pre-cheating on our future spouse. If you're making out, which is an intimate act, leading to getting handsy in intimate parts of the body, leading to sexual acts. Like these little phrases, pre-cheating. I don't know what's pre-cheating, but it's getting intimate with someone who's not your spouse. Guys, am I crazy? Comment what you think. Give this video a thumbs up if you feel me. Give this video a thumbs up if you feel me. Story time with Yaz. You're spot on, Paul. It looks weird. It looks crazy. Yeah, they're all anti-fear. They're all just let us live. Oh my goodness, my past church experience was so toxic. The way I grew up was so toxic. They put so many regulations and rules on me and don't do this. Well, the Bible has regulations and rules and tells us don't do this. Yes, let's be careful not to make something scripture that isn't. We don't want to start being like, The Bible says thou shalt not hug for more than 5 seconds to someone you're not married to. No, the Bible doesn't say that. But the Bible does give wisdom. The Apostle Paul over and over again talks about things, how to live with wisdom. He instructs the Timothy in the book of Timothy, who's being trained, or he's already a leader in the church, and he says, treat younger women with absolute purity. Guys, again, go back to the statistics. How are Christian couples doing? How are Christian dating couples doing? Not well. So maybe we should look a little different and play it a little more safe than a little more liberal. That's my thoughts. Yeah. I don't have a whole lot more to say. What are your all's thoughts? Comment below. Let me know. Morgan, maybe she'll get here for a little bit of the live Q&A. If you guys are watching this, try to tune in for the live if you're watching the playback, because we get into some fun, sometimes spicy Q&A after the main course of the video. Hopefully Morgan will be here. But yeah, let me know your all's thoughts. I am open to dialogue, and I hope there's some healthy dialogue in the comment section. I genuinely do. Love you guys. Be blessed. I'll catch you again very soon. Have hope and be free. As you may have noticed, we get very few brand deals, which is why our patrons, the names you see here, are so important.
You guys really are the lifeblood of this ministry. We could not do this without you all. If you believe in this content and you want to partner with us on Patreon, click the link below or just go to patreon.com/paulandmorganshow.